Hi everyone, I'm going to continue reading the next part of Charlotte's Web. We are in the middle of our chapter called The Miracle. Let's see what happens next. Charlotte was delighted with the way her trick was working. She sat without moving a muscle and listened to the conversation of the people. When a small fly blundered into the web just beyond the word pig, Charlotte dropped quickly down, rolled the fly up, and carried it out of the way. After a while, the fog lifted. The web dried off, and the words didn't show up so plainly. The Zuckermans and Lurvy walked back to the house. Just before they left the pig pen, Mr. Zuckerman took one last look at Wilbur. "You know," he said in an important voice, "I've thought all along that pig of ours was an extra good one. He's a solid pig. That pig is as solid as they come." "You notice how solid he is around the shoulders, Lurvy?" Sure I do," said Lurvy. "I always notice that pig. He's quite a pig." "He's long and he's smooth," said Zuckerman. "That's right," agreed Lurvy. "He's as smooth as they come. He's some pig." When Mr. Zuckerman got back to the house, he took off his work clothes and put on his best suit. Then he got into his car and drove to the minister's house. He stayed for an hour and explained to the minister that a miracle had happened on the farm. "So far," said Zuckerman, "only 4 people on earth know about this miracle. Myself, my wife Edith, my hired man Lurvy, and you." "Well, don't tell anybody else," said the minister. "We don't know what it means yet, but perhaps if I give thought to it, I can explain it in my sermon next Sunday. There can be no doubt that you have the most unusual pig. I intend to speak about it in my sermon and point out the fact that this community has been visited with a wondrous animal. By the way, does the pig have a name?" "Why, yes," said Mr. Zuckerman. "My little niece calls him Wilbur. She's rather a funny child, full of notions. She raised the pig on a bottle, and I bought him from her when he was a month old." He shook hands with the minister and left. Secrets are hard to keep. Long before Sunday came, the news spread all over the county. Everybody knew that a sign had appeared in a spider's web on the Zuckerman's place. Everybody knew that the Zuckermans had a wondrous pig. People came from miles around to look at Wilbur and to read the word on Charlotte's Web. Here's a picture. The Zuckerman's driveway was full of cars and trucks from morning until night. Fords and Chevys, a Buick Roadmaster, and GMC pickups and Plymouths, and Studebakers and Packards, and an old DeSoto's with gyromatic transmission, and Oldsmobiles with rocket engines, and Jeep station wagons, and Pontiacs. The news of the wonderful pig spread clear up into the hills, and farmers came rattling down in buggies and backboards to stand hour after hour at Wilbur's pen to admire this miraculous animal. All said they had never seen such a pig before in their lives. When Fern told her mother that Avery had tried to hit the Zuckerman spider with a stick, Mrs. Arbo was so shocked that she sent Avery to bed without any supper as his punishment. In the days that followed, Mr. Zuckerman was so busy entertaining visitors that he neglected his farm work. He wore his good clothes all the time now, and he got right into them when he got up in the morning. Mrs. Zuckerman prepared special meals for Wilbur. Lurvy shaved and got a haircut, and his principal farm duty was to feed the pig while people looked on. Mr. Zuckerman ordered Lurvy to increase Wilbur's feeding from 3 meals a day to 4 meals a day. The Zuckermans were so busy with visitors they forgot about other things on the farm. The blackberries got ripe, and Mrs. Zuckerman failed to put up any blackberry jam. The corn needed hoeing, and Lurvy didn't find the time to hoe it. On Sunday, the church was full. The minister explained the miracle. He said that the words on the spider's web proved that human beings must always be on the watch for the comings of wonders. All in all, the Zuckerman's pig pen was the center of attraction. Fern was happy, for she felt that Charlotte's trick was working and that Wilbur's life would be saved. But she found that the barn was not nearly as pleasant. There was too many people. She liked it better when she could be alone with her friends, the animals. All right, friends, that is the end of Chapter 11. Now we're going to start Chapter 12, and it is called A Meeting. I wonder what kind of a meeting could be going on. One evening, a few days after the writing had appeared on Charlotte's web, the spider called a meeting of all the animals in the barn cellar. I shall begin by calling roll. Wilbur. Here, said the pig. Gander. Here, 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 said the gander. You sound like 3 ganders, muttered Charlotte. Why can't you just say here? Why do you have to repeat everything? It's my idiosyncrasy, replied the gander. Goose, said Charlotte. Here, 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 said the goose. And Charlotte glared at her. Goslings, 1 through 7. Said all of the goslings. This is going to be quite a meeting, said Charlotte. Anybody would think that we had 3 ganders, 3 geese, and 21 goslings. Sheep, ha ha ha, answered the sheep all together. Lambs, answered the lambs all together. Templeton, no answer. Templeton, no answer. Well, we are all here except the rat, said Charlotte. I guess we can proceed without him. Now, all of you have noticed what's been going on around here the last few days? The message I wrote in my web praising Wilbur has been received. The Zuckermans have fallen for it, and so has everybody else. Zuckerman thinks Wilbur is an unusual pig, and therefore he won't want to kill him and eat him. I dare say my trick will work and Wilbur's life can be saved. Hooray! Everybody cried. Thank you very much, said Charlotte. Now, I have called this meeting in order to get suggestions. I need new ideas for my web. People are already getting sick of the words some pig. If anybody can think of another message or a remark, I'd be glad to weave it into the web. Any suggestions for a new slogan? How about Pig Supreme? Asked one of the lambs. No good, said Charlotte. It sounds like a rich dessert. How about terrific, terrific, terrific? Asked the goose. Cut that down to 1 terrific and it will do. Nice, very nicely, said Charlotte. I think terrific might impress Zuckerman. But Charlotte, said Wilbur, I'm not terrific. That doesn't make a particle of difference, replied Charlotte. Not a particle. People believe almost anything they see in print. Does anybody here know how to spell terrific? I think, said the gander, it's T-E-E-R-R-E-F-F-I-C-C-C-C-C. Well, what kind of an acrobat do you think I am, said Charlotte in disgust. I would have to have St. Vitius dance to weave a word like that into my web. Sorry, 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 said the gander. Then the oldest sheep spoke up. I agree that there should be something new written in the web if Wilbur's life is to be saved. And if Charlotte needs help finding words, I think she can get it from our friend Templeton. The rat visits the dump nearly regularly and has access to old magazines. He can tear out bits of advertisements and bring them up here to the barn cellar so that Charlotte can have something to copy. Good idea, said Charlotte, but I'm not sure Templeton will be willing to help. You know how he is, always looking out for himself, never thinking of the other fellow. I bet I can get him to help, said the old sheep. I'll appeal to his baser instincts, of which he has plenty. Here he comes now. Everybody keep quiet while I put the matter up to him. The rat entered the barn the way he always did, creeping along close to the wall. "What's up?" he asked the animals all assembled. "We're holding a directors' meeting," replied the old sheep. "Well, break it up," said Templeton. "Meetings bore me." And the rat began to climb a rope that hung against the wall. "Look," said the old sheep, "next time you go to the dump, Templeton, bring back a clipping from a magazine. Charlotte needs new ideas so she can write messages in her web and save Wilbur's life." "Oh, let him die," said the rat. "I should worry." "You'll worry all right when next winter comes," said the sheep. "You'll worry all right on a 0 morning next January when Wilbur is dead and nobody comes down here with a nice warm pail of slops to pour into the trough. Wilbur's leftover food is your chief supply of food. Templeton, you know that. Wilbur's food is your food. Therefore, Wilbur's destiny is your destiny. They are both closely linked. If Wilbur is killed and his trough stands empty day after day, you'll grow so thin we can look right through your stomach and see objects on the other side." Templeton's whiskers quivered. "Ooh, maybe you're right," he said gruffly. "I'm making a trip to the dump tomorrow afternoon. I'll bring back a magazine clipping if I can find one." "Oh, thanks," said Charlotte. "This meeting is now adjourned. I have a busy evening ahead of me. I've got to tear my web apart and write terrific." Wilbur blushed. "But I'm not terrific, Charlotte. I'm just about average for a pig." "You're terrific as far as I'm concerned," replied Charlotte sweetly, "and that's what counts. You're my best friend, and I think that you're sensational. Now stop arguing and go and get some sleep." Okay, friends, that is the end of this chapter. I am going to stop there, and we will start the next chapter tomorrow. It's chapter 13, and it's called Good Progress. And this is where you guys get to say, done, done, done. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.